Thank you, Ryan. I hope, let me change here something and we go from there. There you go. So thank you for participating today. We have a new update webinar with some news. We are presenting today some new features and also some statements on one of the recent feature launches. And yeah, there's a lot there's a lot to be told today. We will try to make it also pretty onto the like straightforward and onto the things. So we're going with the same agenda as always, the same structure. So what's new in our latest updates? What is in store for the following updates? And the questions and feedback. So today we have the launch of a new add-on, which is called account management. So we're very excited about that. We have also, along with the account management launch, we have some improvements on the design of the invoices for all the custom feeders, that this is all already in place. We have a new report, which is a markup report for, especially for people that are working on thin costs on the feeder business. We have some improvements on the UI for the cattle transfer functionality. And then we have some comments and announcements on the bank score and ration per pounds per head ingredient new beta functionalities. So let's get into this. I would say perhaps the most important feature that we want to present today is an add-on. It's not like part of the basic license, but it's an important one, especially for custom feeders, which is the ability in the administration section, the ability to manage all the billing and the accounts that you might have as a feeder, your customers, and all the invoices, the status, and of course the ability to create invoices, which you already have on the most basic license. But this is going way beyond that. I have a screen that represents in general, but I would like to show it how it works in reality. So let me go. We are here in a demo account here. So I will go and to the administration section. And we have, like I said, a default subsection, which is the billing and accounts. And billing and accounts has two different tabs. One is billing. So what you're seeing here is an overall summary of your different bills or invoices that you have emitted against a customer or a set of customers, all the list of the last ones. And from here, I have like a glimpse of what's happening and what invoices are overdue. And then I can do different things. I can create a new account, which is a new owner, is equivalent of a new owner. I can create a new payment. So let's say that I created an invoice and send it to my customer. Now I can register a payment. And then of course I can create a new invoice, which is the same feature that you already have today on cattle management, which is called bill. But it's now it's more organized from the billing and account section. So it's like a shortcut, or the one that you have in cattle management is a shortcut, and this is the proper way to have it. So let's say that we want to create a new invoice. We can do it as always by owner or by lot. We have, I'm gonna pick Ryan V. I'm gonna retrieve the information, and I have here for this period, I don't know, this amount of feed and fees that I have to um, charge to my customer, and I confirm, and now I can create either a non-detailed, this is a typo here, a non-detailed invoice or a detailed invoice. So the difference between the non-detailed and the detailed is that on the non-detailed, I will have just a brief line per one of these main categories, like one line for feed, and I don't give that much detail on every quantity and unit cost. The same goes for vet products. And then, of course, I have the fees. Or if I do a detail, I'll have like all the information of each one of those rows that appear here in the preview. So let's say that we click on here, and then I have all of a sudden this invoice, and you can see, and this matches with the second line of improvements. You have now a much better, much more professional design for the invoice that we have recently been working on. So you can see that this is the detailed version. And there's people that prefer to do it in one way or the other, and you will pick what option based on a per invoice basis. So you have, like in this case, this is the detailed version. So you have each one of the feed ingredients, and if you have, I don't know, more vet products, you also have the list of all of those, and then you have the fees and expenses as always. So on one end, this is more flexibility for billing, and also it's an improvement on the invoice itself and the invoice design. And then other things that I can do is that I can register a payment, whether it's based on of course, for a certain owner, if somebody paid me and a Ryan B paid me, and I can do it against the whole account. Let's say that this is an anticipated payment of an invoice that doesn't exist yet, or I don't know, the customer is paying for like a overall amount, rounded up amount that it's not easy to attribute to a specific invoice. So I just do it against the payment, and I can input what is the payment amount, and then I can specify a way of a method of payment method. So let's say wire transfer, and do, I don't know, some comment in here if I want. Or I can also do it against a specific invoice, and in that case, I have all the invoices that I can pick from, and I will that invoice, like the amount paid, is already fixed, so I can I don't know, either do a partial payment or the end of the payment. So with the Tattler will allocate that payment against that specific invoice, regardless if it's a partial payment or a full payment. So in the other hand, I have accounts on the other tab, and here where I have, instead of having all my invoices, I have all my owners, my customers. So I can go and check at any point, I don't know, with any of the customers. I can, of course, I can have a general overview of what's his situation in each case, regards to the amount of value in terms of cattle that he has with me. What is the markup? This is like a demo account, so many of the numbers are pretty imaginary. This would be 13% overall markup. Santiago 6.5, and then what's the balance, and then a status of the invoices. If I go to the profile, I will be able to see more of a detailed situation or description on that situation. Let me check here. Oh, there you go. for the overview account, so I have some economics to give me an idea of how much this customer is spending, what's the profit that we have on a per category basis. I don't know what invoices are due or paid or undue, and a statement of the account with regards to the emission of invoices, the initial balance, and the payments that subtract from that balance for different periods. We're still working on the grain bank side, which will be specific for the grain bank. So it's like also a profile of what's the situation in terms of statement and for specific for grain bank. So this is one important section that we are launching today, and the natural next step with this will be connecting these movements and statements against some of the accounting softwares that are there. So some of the information, instead of having to register it on a manual basis, you can automatically sync it. But in order to be able to do that, we had first to create this section. Yeah. Somebody wanted to make a question? Okay. And just just raise a hand if you want, and we go from there. So going back to the presentation. So this is one of the main things. Of course, we will continue to improve this. I'll let you know, like, down in the presentation, things that are coming to complement what we have already launched. But this is a big deal for us in terms of our ability to help and support, especially custom feeders, to do their administration or client resource management, client management with better tools. This is a difference from the detailed and the non-detailed version of the new invoice format. So this is already in place. So if you want, just let us know and we will activate this. We have been testing this with some feeders, and we are enabling this on a per request as basis. Another thing that is new is the margin and profit report. So the idea here is that you have, on a daily basis, an agglomerated view for the whole feeder initially of all the markups that you have across the board, so that you have a good idea on a profit per head basis and a total profit, how much money we're making specifically on the feeder, on the finishing or side of the business. This is not about cost and profitability of the cattle business itself. That will come soon after, but this is about the feeders itself, especially as I said before, for the custom feeders. But also, if I'm own my own cattle, I can also separate and do, like, price transfer, or I can charge to my own cattle at market prices, depending on the strategy that each one has, all the costs of the feeder business unit. If I have cattle that is mine, being fed at my own feeder. So this is one of the first reports that are focusing directly on the margin and profits for the feeder unit business, regardless of the closeouts for the cattle business. So this is, like, I would say, the first step of an effort in beginning to provide more profitability reports. Another feature that is very recent, it's like, I would say, half an improvement, in the sense that it is more essentially focused on the UI. Some people had said to us, hey, when I move cattle, the form is a little bit complicated. It gives me options that I don't quite understand. So we try to narrow it down so that it's more evident. I don't know if I'm moving a lot or part of it. Um, I don't know which pen is in it, and also our ability to move some IDs out of that lot, um, or just a simple head count if I'm not using ID, any type of ID. The one of the next things that we will soon add to this is the ability to move from a pen perspective, regardless if I'm using, if I'm having, I don't know, 3 or 4 pen lots in the same pen, just having to do them, the ability to do them all in one movement instead of having to go to, I don't know, each lot that we know is in one pen, sharing space with other lots or pieces of lot, and doing it 3 times. That will be almost immediately there, hopefully in October, um, along with many other things that we are launching. So this is like purely focused on ease of use and simplicity, and we'll have that pen thing soon after. So, I would like to recover a little bit of the list. We have been doing some improvements on bank score and on the ability to so these are like two unrelated things, but are they end up being related to a certain extent. So one thing is the bank score. So most of you or all of you you have been working so far with Cutler with a certain version of the bank score that we call like a simplified version, and we have been receiving a lot of feedback about how we can complete it and make it without making it too complex, adding more power to it. We have been working a lot recently in how to improve that, and last week we did an update with a better version that was meant to put the first version on the street. We have had some issues with that. So because I don't know, there were some bugs that we haven't been able to control yet. And so today we have just had launched a non-mandatory update, which allows you, if you want, for some days until we get the bank score right, because especially because bank score is something that people use on a daily basis. If you want, you can come back, like by default, you will come back to our prior version, and if you want, you can stay on the new version. This is for some days until we can stabilize the new version with some fixes. In this version today, there's already some fixes to the new version. So like the two of those are available until we get it rounded up. Because of that, we also had, because of the impact of bone score on the load and drop, we also had launched a new the ability to define some ingredients on the ration management as as pounds per head basis instead of percentage. We just out of caution, we roll that back also for some days, so hopefully 1 week, until we get the bank score in place, the new bank score stabilized. But that will be fixed very quickly. So this is the old, we always already call it the old way, the simplest version, and this is the new way. So for some days you will have the ability to go to any of those. This one is like cooler but less stable. The other one is less cool but it's more stable, and that has it's more stable basically. And it has a couple of things that the new one doesn't have, and we are completing that. In the cell phone, the new one, this is how it looks today. We will be improving also a little bit the design of the new version. I think one of the coolest things about the new version is that you have now that like vertical roll so that you can pick between pens instead of like scrolling down, you can move like from left to right. So that's something that I think many people have are liking. Um, so yeah, like just stay tuned. We will one I don't know, another thing that I would say that is a collateral effect of this is that we will try to reduce the amount of updates that we have, like because we are updating the app and improving it so frequently that some people would say, hey, like wait a minute, hang on. And so as to the extent that we possibly can, we will try to do not always mandatory updates, but voluntary updates so somebody can update the version whenever they want at their own pace. Um, so so this is it. I think it's already a lot. What we have in store for the following updates are it's a little bit aligned to some of the things that we have been discussing in previous webinars, and also that are uh, spilling over this last update. So some of the further improvements in account management or additions are some of the statements that you have there, like the ability to print them out. This is like an easy thing that we just need to do it. Adding the GrainBank piece of the account management, specifically for people that are using GrainBank and just being able to print out a report in the GrainBank for the customer. Connecting to some of the account softwares that are there, probably QuickBooks, the first one, on the sales side, and then this is with regards to the account management. Of course, again, the fixes in new bank score, we think that this like new bank score has a lot of power, but we just needed to fine tune it a little bit more according to what we experienced this week. Um, there's a big update on animal health coming down the road. That's not an added feature or anything like that. Nor it is the bank score. That's part of the current package. In animal health, we're focusing on creating less steps to do some things, to giving more power to the protocols and connecting them more to the diagnosis, having more reports, typically for a certain treatment response reports, and more flexibility. We are also working on further improvements to the should section, like having a manual version so that I can just go and do whatever I want, regardless of any order that I have already programmed, like unprogrammed tasks on the should, less steps, more flexibility, and some improvements in the UI so that it's kind of like more simple, more intuitive. So that's there's a lot of work in that. Making things look simple is not that simple. So probably these four items are the ones that are most immediate, and then things that are coming on the pipeline. Some of them we are like pushing them in a 1 month or two because I don't know difficulties that we have. I don't know, if we didn't have these uh, problems with Bandscore, probably we'll have some of this already in place. But anyways, we're still, I think, improving fast. Advanced supplies uh, will be the ability to connect all the movements on my supply, on my ingredients or vet products with the purchases. That is another reason to connect with the accounting softwares. The ability to input many of the ingredients or vet products by like using the barcodes or the QR codes, so connecting the SKUs. And then also uh, some reports coming out of that, the ability to put some contracts into like the contracts that I have with my vendors, put them in some way into the app. More Elancometrics, we have like a minimal version today, but there's a low hanging fruit there and on the ability to create more Elancometrics. That depends more on the user interface because all the features are there, the data is there. It's just that we are not exposing it. And the first cow, calf, and pasture management features, that's a big thing that is coming before the year ends, as well as we'll see if we can get there before the year of the end, is the ability to digitize the end trucks, the truck scale. So just connecting to the little office that is out there receiving trucks coming in and out and being able to digitize all that so that all the mass balance of the figure begins to close in one virtuous circle. So I don't know, for control purposes, that's a big deal. So this is it. I'm happy to answer to any questions or comments you want to give us. Let me know, Ryan, if there's any comment on
I
the.
have a question.
Yes. Hello,
Uh,
Lucy, I guess.
yes.
Yes.
Um, One of the things, and I think I told Sierra about this, is when when we're writing pens
Mhm.
on the app, they need to look up a tag number and it's not working on the app. And so they call me and I look it up on the desktop.
Uh, we
So
like,
like
what is that doesn't work?
so on the desktop, I can type in when to look up a tag number, you hit the yellow
Yep.
button and I can type in on the desktop 131
Yes.
and it'll show me all the cattle with that number
Mm-hmm.
in it. But on your app on your phone, like when they're on their horse, it just tells me that number is not found.
Um, is it like we have had some cases where they are trying to tap in the visual tag and they look on the EID button of the pen writer app and that way like the app
Okay,
doesn't recognize. I don't know
let me let me
if
look.
like perhaps they're like I don't know it's confusing uh what you're expecting.
Yeah,
Like
so if I go enter
you
visual
notice?
tag
Yes.
and let like I know we have a 131. So if I type
Okay.
131 and I hit next, it just tells me invalid animal tag.
Okay. Let us see if there's any bug in there.
Yeah,
Because that would be the
maybe it's just ours. Okay.
no yeah and also could be like sometimes I don't know under specific conditions because this is something like a feature that like many people use on a daily basis all the time. So
Right, right.
it could be the case that under certain conditions there's an error jumping away and we haven't noticed that specific condition. So let us check it out and we'll come to
Yeah,
you.
or I didn't know if maybe that would be fixed with the health updates, maybe.
Well, no, but way before that, way before that,
Okay.
that should not happen, and it there's some bugs that sometimes happen in certain cases and in some others don't.
Yeah.
Um, and due to different reasons, like I don't know, depending on your data, specific database for your animals, or something that is running wrong, or for certain type of digits, like and many things. So what we do in those cases, we just try to reproduce that error. We check it with the team, and if it's a what we call a backend error or we will probably fix it and you should be so I have somebody on my team
Okay.
already creating a ticket with that and you should hear from us soon.
Sweet.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
we're up to about 5,000 heads, so now it's becoming important. We've doctored quite a few that they be able to look that up while they're on their horse. So
Oh,
that would
okay.
be awesome to
Yeah.
check into.
Yeah, no, no. Yeah, they're telling me that probably it's a bug connected to the fact that it's not reading when it's a number that has less than 4 digits. So let us check. It's
Oh,
a simple
okay.
thing. It could be a
Oh,
simple thing.
perfect.
So let us check it out and we come back with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for raising the issue.
Yes.
Any other question or comments?
I got a question.
Yes, go ahead.
So we had 10 bulls leave on Wednesday.
Yep.
And I took one or two out of one of the pens, and in the comments I wrote who left because I didn't have specifically who was in the pen, so I just wrote it in the comments who left, and why they left. How can you access those comments again?
Uh, Let me see.
Because it would be cool to see to be able to see a list of cattle going out and then be able to see the comment on them too. But
Okay.
maybe I just didn't look hard enough because I
I
was in the reports.
I'm trying to see if I have an answer for that. So let's say that you sold cattle. Probably they are on sales and purchases.
Would,
Do we have a comment here?
I think that what he's saying is that if you, for instance, hey Garrett, if you go to a specific animal and you do an individual closeout, which he did, just like on the animal, you can add a comment maybe to it,
Well,
and the comment that's not there showing up there. Or how did you do it, Garrett?
I think I went to manage inventory
Okay.
and then cattle out. So I
Well,
click on cattle out, and then
yeah.
I pick my pen, and then you got like the description down there,
Mm-hmm.
and it'd be. I was hoping I could look up that.
Okay. Probably we didn't even think about that.
Yeah, cause like especially for like our old herd bulls and stuff, we got tons of them
Yeah.
around here. But as since
No,
I'm
I
not in,
understand. No, definitely the information is there. My what I'm wondering is like, what would be the best way or the best place to look at that?
yeah,
Uh,
like
um,
once I'm able to merge cattle from pen to pen,
yes.
then I will put in the specific bull and where he's at, because the way I have it set up in our system, um if I'm able to merge, that'll help me out better. But
Mhm.
until I can do that, then been just I haven't been entering them in specifically.
Oh, okay.
So
Probably what we need to do is in this page on cattle movements that you see can see the out movement. We can, if you click here, perhaps we can give you a report and eventually download it. So you
okay.
can, this will be the logical. I guess we
Or
never
or
thought
maybe
about
in
it.
the report, maybe a cattle out report,
Yes,
and then that can
absolutely.
show
That
specifics
will
as well.
be, I need, let me take, guys, can you take note of this?
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
on it.
okay. The closeout, what you mean in the closeout report?
I mean, yeah, as long as it shows like the individuals and then the description. Because
Yeah.
it gave me a date, like the dates that I could pick, and then it showed me, but I could not see like
No, absolutely.
individually.
I think we just it went unnoticed for us. Like the
Okay.
way that in the at the pace that we are updating and improving some things, sometimes we forget about these things that are mm, important, and at the same time, because they have less consequences, sometimes we just forget. So I guess probably here we could expose a report that gives you like a list of what happened in
Yep.
the you did on the closeout, and then you can download it some way.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna start weaning next week, so I'll have here shortly about 1,250 head in the barn, so I'm probably gonna call Garrett quite a bit.
Okay, no, definitely the information is there. Like in the meantime, until we got something exposed on the app, we can always like retrieve the information in the shape of like a CSV, like an Excel file,
Okay.
and send it to you. Like that's the information is there, even if we don't expose it for some reason, like for instance that we forgot to create a report that uncovers that information, but the information is always there. So let us give us a bridge to where we can give it information more manually on a like as per your request, and then I think I have an idea of how we can create this report for like people to see everything that they inputted on every specific movement.
Okay. And then the other question I had, which I already talked to Garrett and Sierra about it, but I was just seeing if they passed it along. I was gonna see if we could keep track of our bale inventory per bale
Mm-hmm.
because we do a lot of corn stalk and bean bales as well for bedding.
Okay.
And it would be nice to see inventory on what we have left on that as well. And we usually keep track of how like the number of bales because we have a certain amount that we keep at certain places, and it'd be nice to see how many bales we have left.
Like a unit.
Yeah, instead of weight.
Okay. I
What they
think
can do there, Ignacio, is I mean that you have the supplies, in like X amount of bales of hay. Yeah, you could do that.
yeah,
But
we could add like a new option here. And I'm just like thinking out loud. Then the developers will tell me I can or I cannot. But probably the easiest thing to do is just to add a unit of management that is in units. So you can put bales here and add just bales.
Yeah, because I mean, I get the point of weight, and that would be great to implement on my like feeding side. But to
Mhm.
where we have corn stalk bales and bean bales that we bed with, we would like to see that as well if we could. So
Okay. Yeah, today you have like a just like expense option for bedding, I guess.
yeah.
But this just as an expense, like you're not controlling the inventory. I see your point. Um,
yeah, because we usually don't worry about expenses on those bales specifically.
okay,
Even though we probably should start, I should probably put that in there, but.
okay. Yeah, note taken. Um, let us go through it and think a little bit, especially when there are like not big things. Um, okay. TPT. Oh, okay. Especially when there are like small things. Um, we always find a way.
Okay.
So yeah, the team is taking note of it. One thing about um one thing about the question that we had before, Lucy, it sounds like they just show me the guys that it was not a bug. It is that you have the 131, but you have TPT as part of the tag name. So if you tap TPT, you should be able to find that on the cell phone, the pen writer app. Let me show you. Let me show you just in a second. I just been sent the capture. There you go. Showing Finder. It's Finder. Okay, there you go. So if you can see this, Not yet. There you go. Lucy, we just got into your account. So it's TPT131. That's why
Yes.
apparently you cannot find it.
But can you make it so they only have to type in the number?
We could make it so that
Like
they
let me give you an
Okay.
example. Phil, he's in the feed truck and he's feeding and he sees tag number 61 that's limping. And he
Yeah.
wants to look up really quick number 61, but maybe he doesn't know the letters that the girls have entered because you can't have two tag numbers the same.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like
just
can he just type in
also-
61 real quick?
Yeah, just like a search that just begins to associate.
Yeah, and then it'll
some
show you everything that has the number 61 in it. Or does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it sounds like if
Because
you
on the
put like in
desktop,
the
you can
computer-
type in the number.
Yeah, exactly. I
Yeah.
think it's more about adapting the method that we have in the computer to the phone version.
Okay.
Okay, let us go work through it. It's not a bug properly.
It would,
It's just
yeah, it would be just be
limitation.
faster when they're on their horse if they can just,
Yeah, no, makes sense.
and especially if
The
they don't know
little
what
thing-
initials were used. Yeah.
Exactly. The little
Mm.
things are the biggest ones. So
The little things are the big
let-
things.
exactly, exactly. That's what I meant in my poor English. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Thank you for letting us know. Anyone else out there? So if not, of course, you can always reach out to us. And we're happy to go over anything, whether it's a new feature, an old feature, errors, nor bugs, or whatever it comes to your mind. Thank you, guys. I don't want to make it longer. If you want to recommend also this video, we'll post it on YouTube. So if anybody that you know that wanted to attend wasn't able to make it, we'll post it on YouTube probably tomorrow. So thank you guys very much for participating as always. We look forward to the next updates and new cool stuff. And we hope that you have finished the silage silage season as best as possible in these times of high prices. So thank you very much, guys.